Good afternoon, investors. Welcome to the January 25th webinar presented by Portfolio Builder. Folks, my name is Dean Gallagher. I'm an investment consultant and partner here at the firm. I want to thank you guys for joining us here today. We are going to go ahead and lock in some profits here, okay, on AGQ. And we're going to lock in profits over 12,000 bucks. It looks like it's going to be 12,569 here to the tick. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and do that work. Okay, so I'm net selling my position here, guys, in AGQ. If you're using Thinkorswim, you can just right click over it. Okay, you guys can view the trades, see the open profit. Okay, but also you can create your closing order. Okay, and what I do, guys, is I just use market orders. Okay, because this stuff's super liquid. So I'm just going to market. We're net selling 2,000 shares to lock in our $12,000 plus profit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and send that. Bingo, we're out. Took our $12,000 profit on that. Okay, and then we're going to add a few things into the portfolio structure and mix here. Okay, and so guys, what I did is the math just before I hopped on the webinar. Okay, so I net sold 2,000 shares of AGQ as step one. Now I'm going to buy 2,000 shares of Gbtc. Okay, because guys, that is working as just an incredible hedge to cash money, right? So we're going to go ahead and add Gbtc to the safe alpha portfolio for the first time. I simply type it in right here, guys. Go to the bid and ask. Okay, I'm just going to go to the ask. I'm going to change the notional order here for 1,000 to 2,000. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and I actually do have to use a limit order for this, okay, specifically. So I'm just going to go ahead and buy that at the market price there, okay. So right here I can see the bid and the ask. Okay, I'm just going to put it at the ask, 2,000 shares. I'm going to go ahead and confirm and send that. Okay. Oh, it says I'm not allowed to use intraday. Huh. Let's see here. That was really weird. And give me just 1 second here, guys. All right. So I do have my limit order up. Okay, that should be right. Okay, it says the buying power designed to make this trade was created from the liquidation of an overnight position. FINRA rules mandate the use of funds created from the liquidation of overnight positions cannot be used that day for day trading. I'm not day trading though. Therefore, you can only make this trade if you intend to hold the position overnight, and failure to do so. Yep. So it's weird. I don't know. I'm gonna have to call TD. The paper trading side of the platform has been off, guys. So I'm gonna have to actually call them to get that in. That's weird. I just did it in my real account, no problem. But on the paper trading, it's not letting me do that. Okay, so let me go ahead, guys, and so we're gonna have to skip that, but I am gonna buy 2,000 shares of UVXY, and I just did some quick math, guys, from the trade alert to understand what we're gonna do in those positions. So let me go ahead and go to UVXY, okay, and I am gonna go ahead and buy 2,000 shares there as well. So we're gonna add a little protection, okay, that's volatility, and I'm just gonna turn this to market, okay, and confirm and send that. So there you go, got that, no problem. Okay, so what I'll have to do, guys, is just call TD to have them put in the paper trading. And I don't know why it let me do it on my account just fine, but the paper trading account has given me an error. So weird on that, guys. Okay, but we did have our shares of UVXY. Okay, and you guys can go to this monitor screen. Okay, and you can see the filled order there. Okay, so we did purchase 2,000 shares of the UVXY. I don't know why it's off on the quantity here. Or no, that's right, because it was 9,000 before. Okay, so very good, guys. So we did just lock in our $12,500 plus profit on AGQ. We did add some more volatility hedging here with UVXY, and I'm not sure why, but there's an error in the Thinkorswim platform, but I will be buying also 2,000 shares of Gbtc. Okay, so I'm going to call them to make sure to get that through, guys. I was hoping I could show you guys, but pretty easy to get that done, guys, and just running an incredible profit. Okay, since we did, structure this out exactly 2 months ago, just shy of $250,000 in profit here in that time, guys. Okay, so very cool. Looking good, and portfolio's up 9,748 for the day. So everything is looking good, and I will be back on, guys. Oh, real quick too, just wanted to do a shout out, guys, to Jeff Olson. He actually just joined our team, and he's going to be reaching out to you guys to do lifetime upgrades and also to upgrade your existing membership. Okay, so Jeff's a great guy. He's up over 65% with us since he started investing, and he actually officially joined our team on Saturday. So you guys will be hearing from Jeff. He's an awesome guy, really learning quickly and making some serious money with us. So he will be reaching out to you guys to get you guys upgraded into lifetime and also just additional portfolios as well. So thank you, team. Appreciate that. And Jason, incredible work, bud. Smoking the market over the past 2 months. Incredible job.
Very fun. And we may have another trade coming out. Looks like the worst fears for banning the federal lands of fracking are coming true. So far there's a 60-day moratorium. I'm talking to the Yates family in detail about this. But we might want to just be long oil instead of the oil and gas companies. So I'll keep you guys posted on any updates on that.
Yeah,
but New Mexico's tax revenues are about to absolutely collapse. This state is going to be bankrupt. 35% of our budget is from oil. And I was talking to Emmons, and so one of our buddies are billionaires in the oil industry, and you basically can't frack without going under federal land in New Mexico at all. So we're going to see if they're going to get bought. Is there some bribes going on to get this cleared or what?
Holy moly. How crazy, Jason.
Yeah.
So he was real happy when you talked to him, huh?
His recommendation was to invest in Iranian oil companies. I was like, oh, great. Our enemies. He's like, yep, welcome to 2021.
Nice. And great to have his insight there too, Jason. That's incredible.
So what we really want is the inflation hedge. So long oil will do that job. And it looks like these yahoos in control over the world want to just skyrocket the cost of oil to get carbon emissions down. So we might even make more money on that. So that's a trade possibly coming in the very near term here. But I'm getting a little more research done. That big headline really hit over the weekend. So.
Wow. Well, incredible. And always good to have access to your billionaire friends to ask questions on their industry, right? So.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. Awesome, Jason. Okay, guys, and I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you. And like I said, guys, Jeff will be reaching out here. He's now officially on our team here, so he will be reaching out to you guys shortly. All right, thank you, team. Appreciate it, and great work, everyone, growing those accounts.
I'll make sure we get Jeff in this webinar next Wednesday too, so he can say hi to everybody.
Okay, perfect. Very cool, Jason. Awesome, guys. Well, great job, guys, restructuring everything. And I'm going to have to call Thinkorswim to get this Gbtc in the paper. It went right through on my brokerage account, but I don't know what's going on. There's a glitch on the paper side today. So anyways, team, that's my side. And let you guys ask questions with Jason. Have some fun, guys. Don't hold those questions back.
They don't. So I'm actually going to start hosting this 15 minutes earlier each day. Because we have been running out of time. So I know I need to give you guys more time to get all those great questions out, especially Whit. He's always got some good questions. And I'm going to check the chat box and we'll do an overview. Okay. Looks like just some little comments out there. Okay, Don said he's flat on AGQ. Good. No problem there. Dean was in that position a little earlier. Okay, great, guys. So wonderful. I've been cranking out screenshots for everybody, emailing. If you need any screenshots, Flavio, go ahead, and I've unmuted you, Flavio. So now, Flavio, one thing, you keep sending me what assets you have, but realize the way I operate is I'm going to say, tell me your account value. I'll send you the screenshot. It's going to be up to you to go compare what you have versus what you should have. Okay, I'm not going to do that level of babysitting.
No, I hear you. I was lost before because when I received the alert and it was just given the sell, and what I did that 68% in one, 9% in another one, and I divided everything. So.
Yeah. So what we want to do is ignore I might just delete this because this seems to really confuse people. In fact, I think I'll just delete that so people stop looking at that. We got to have the ratio of shares. So 11 shares of UVXY, 8 shares of the triple Q. We're out of silver. We're hopping into the Bitcoin train. This is only for Safe Alpha. Pro is sticking to the silver for the time being. A little safer and more old school, which is what we like to stick to with Pro. And so yeah, your ratio now is 11 shares of UVXY. That did increase our hedge by about $20 per 1,208 per unit of investment. Currently, we have 8 shares of the triple Q, 2 shares of GBTC, and then 12 shares of ERX. And the next trade I foresee is probably going long oil instead of long the energy companies.
Jason,
yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry to cut you off. But you're saying the 11 shares, but I'm way above that. So how do I figure that out?
Tell me what your account value is, Flavio, and I'll punch it in and it'll tell you what you should own.
I have 426 UVC.
No, we're not going to work for. I can't operate from you telling me what you have. You tell me a dollar amount and I'll screenshot it for you.
I got 50K on that account.
Okay, so I punch that in. And so it's going to be up to you to go through and say, oh, I'm light or heavy. Okay, so I'm not going to do that part for you. So you're going to have to go look and see, oh, I've got too many of this or too few of that. Okay?
Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it makes the best use of everybody's time that way. Okay, I'm sending that screenshot to you right now, Flavio.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, my pleasure.
In the beginning, I kind of got a little late and I saw that was Dean.
Yeah, that was Dean. Yep.
But he was doing some trades. Am I into that or it's a new thing? What's going on?
All you're going to need to do is make sure you have what's on the screenshot I'm sending you right now. Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Buy and sell until you hit that target, and then you are completed.
Got it. You got it, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay, I got some more people raising their hand. 1 second. Okay, let's go ahead and go with John Gibson. Go ahead, John.
How you doing, Jason?
Doing great. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, pretty good. Can't complain. New day. I'm always thrilled to have a new day to look forward to. That's for sure. Hey, I wanted to ask you. I literally did what you said in the alert today, but I don't think I got the number of shares right. So my portfolio is 78K. I did get out of AGQ, but I lost $100 on that. But I figured we're selling for a reason, so I did sell it. But I don't think I got the percentage and the ratio right for shares for the GBT and also for the UVX. Why?
Okay, well, go ahead and email me your build out request, dollar amount per portfolio, and I'll be happy to send you a screenshot right after this webinar. Okay, and then you can do the same thing Flavio's doing, which is to just simply make sure you got the right number of shares. It'll be easy.
Yeah. So how do you calculate those, Jason, when you send those out? I literally bought 2 shares of each, and I kind of figured that doesn't seem right.
Okay, so let me go ahead and do a demo here. I got a screenshot. What's your account size you're wanting to get a screenshot for?
78K.
Okay, and that's all for the Safe Alpha?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Flavio, I'm shooting yours off right now. Okay, there you go. So you're going to be at 711 shares of UVXY, 517 of triple Q, 129 GBTC, and 775 ERX. I'll go ahead and screenshot that and get it out to you.
Okay.
Okay.
You said I have another question too.
Okay, go ahead.
So when the market moves sideways, what's our strategy for that?
I'm not anticipating that.
Okay.
If that was the conditions, I would certainly explain that to you. But that's essentially you'd want to be selling call options if you thought the market was going to go flat. But I absolutely do not foresee it going flat. So,
Okay.
yep, good question.
One more question, Jason. You had mentioned one of your members, he passed away, man. His name was Donald, I believe. And during that pullback in March, it was February and March, he made his first $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So what did he have in place at that point in time that was not in place with the Safe Alpha portfolio? What did he do differently that he was able to make $100,000? And I think during that time frame, he lost 6% and 4% in the portfolio.
That was in the pro strategy, and we were heavily invested in TLT call options, which skyrocketed during the crash.
Oh, okay.
Safe Alpha had a huge TLT position, to be clear, 50%, but it didn't have the call options on it.
Okay.
So we did reduce the volatility by about 75%, which is great because it was a decline of 34% in the SPY, and we only had a 6% pullback. So that's beautiful. Unfortunately, that will not work currently. The TLT is not our ally during a period of quantitative easing.
Okay.
So UVXY will do the job for us now.
Okay.
Good question. But yeah, that's what we were half of our account in all strategies were long the TLT. And that's why we're able to greatly reduce the volatility in March with Safe Alpha by 75%, which is really good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Very good. Okay, let's see. We got some more questions. Let's go with Taiji. I've unmuted you if you'd like to go next.
Hello. Good day, Jason. How are you? Can you hear?
It's Yao. How's it going?
Oh, all right. A quick question for you. I saw there was the GUS, the gas is gone, the GUSH. Do you mean we should sell the GUSH, not holding the gas anymore?
No, I haven't made any trade alert on Gush.
Oh, I just saw the gas is not on the on this portfolio. Oh, it's another portfolio. So the gas, we still hold the gas.
Yeah, Gush is part of the bootcamp portfolio on Thursdays. So yeah, we'll be covering. We might be getting out of everything related to producing oil, depending on what these moves are from the Biden administration. But it looks like they're going to make it very hard to frack. So it might make the profitability of oil producers and refineries less attractive relative to just simply being long the price of oil. And the whole purpose of our oil position is to hedge the tech against inflation and rising interest rates. So that's a trade I'm looking at for all three portfolios. Now, Pro is already long oil and not energy companies, so it's set to jet. Safe Alpha and Bootcamp are the two that most likely need to make an adjustment depending on how serious the Biden administration is about.
So you mean the ERX, we will still hold the ERX, but you may get rid of the GUSH.
No, I may get rid of ERX and Gush and replace it with UCO is what I'm considering. I have not made that call yet.
UCO is also oil, or it's
spot oil, yeah.
So ERX and Gush both going to go down now, or you're looking at that they may the oil prices eventually is not going up higher anymore?
No. I believe oil price is going to skyrocket because there's going to be a lot of restrictions that are prohibitive to oil producers. So I'm believing that oil producers are going to have less profitability and that the price of oil is going to go up, not because of demand, but instead because of policy from Biden, making it difficult for oil producers to produce oil. So the cost of production might rise, which would reduce the profitability of oil producers.
So you may see the GUSH and the ERX both may go down, but the UCO may go up.
Right, or perhaps UCO outperforms ERX and GUSH.
And the GUSH is already dropping right now, as well as the ERX. Is that going to be, when selling that later, would that be too late to sell?
Oh yeah, so if I think there's an urgency to sell something, don't worry, I'll get it sold right away. Right now right now they already have 2 years. All these guys have 2 years of secured operations before we really got to freak out about their profitability. So it's not like they've banned fracking. What they have done is put a moratorium to create new leases. So especially in my state, over a third of our tax revenues from these companies. So we're, so anyways, yeah, no trade yet, but stay tuned, okay?
Yeah, but the GUSH has been dropped from the high of.
Okay, so you just asked me
58.
that. You just asked me that question. So far, no trade alert, okay?
No trade alert. Oh, okay, so it may go back up before we sell the GUSH.
Yeah, so right now I have not made a determination to change that position. So the best information I have for you is to stay tuned and then highlight what the news is. So that's the news.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, good questions. Very good questions. Any other questions?
That's the yeah, that's the main one. The new recommendation of the Bitcoin, the Gbtc, that's a good price to buy in right now. It has been dropping, and then would that be safe to buy in now?
Yeah, so yeah, if I put a trade out, that means I believe it's a good idea. Otherwise, we wouldn't put the trade out. So yes.
Just buy at market.
You can do a limit order if you want to try to get between the bid and ask, or you can do a market order. But yeah, I see us holding that position for a very long time, so I wouldn't be worried about a few pennies on the spread. Yeah, up to you on that one.
Okay, so you are long on this one, long on a Gbtc.
Yeah, I think Bitcoin has a little bit better, not a little bit, a far better story right now, and hype and progress being made. And it has some advantage, you know, silver has some advantages and Bitcoin has some advantages. But at this point, essentially, we've reduced our exposure to the QE hedge in total dollar amount, and we've increased our crash insurance slightly. And but yeah, I do think Bitcoin's going significantly higher so long as inflation doesn't pick up too quickly next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, good questions. Very good. Okay, let's go to Jerry. You're next. Go ahead. And I will be starting up 15 minutes earlier than normal, Monday, Wednesday, Friday moving forward, so we have more time together. Okay, guys? I recognize that we were starting a little late and then having to close out before we'd really gotten through everyone's questions. So, okay, Don would like to get the 71. Okay. Don, do me a quick favor and post your email there just so I can just copy paste that out to you, okay? And yeah, so we may have within the next 60 days is the timeline. I'm investigating this again with the richest oil producer in New Mexico. They're very wealthy, so I do get some good insights on that industry that I do rely on. So I'm chatting back and forth. This headline really hit last night. So at this point, we're just giving you forward guidance as to what you might anticipate in the future. But the timeline is that they got 2 years. They're already set to jet for 2 years. It's going to be the future. So it's not like we're rushing to the, we're not in a panic to make that trade right now. And we're starting to see California is magically reopening, New York's reopening. So I do believe oil and oil producers will go up in the short term as we reopen the economy. But the question is which will be a better return for what we're trying to achieve. And we're trying to hedge against inflation as the primary motive to be long oil. So yeah, I'm looking at that. Okay, great. I'm gonna get you your screenshot out there, Don. Let me just find my chat box. Okay. Okay, Don, yours is sent. Okay, let's see, we got another question. Okay, Lewis, can you post your email for me, Lewis, and I'll get that out real quick. And I see some other questions, so we'll get to all of those. Okay, we got Lewis's sent. Okay, great. So let's see, we got a question from Bill Dirk. Can you explain what fracking is? Yeah, fracking was a new technology developed to access a whole bunch of oil that previously was too expensive to extrapolate from the Earth. And so these geologists have figured out how to kind of dig sideways and get this oil out. Now the bad part of it is it can release apparently a lot of different emissions into the atmosphere. So the Biden administration, what they can do easily is create executive orders on federal land. And so much of the fracking is going on a long distance. So while they may have some of their land that's private, plenty of it's also coming in and out of federal land. So certain states are going to be really hit hard by this. Specifically, New Mexico is absolutely going to be devastated if this is the case. So in general, though, what we're thinking is the Biden administration is heavy on climate change as a long-term agenda, and they want to get carbon emissions to, believe it or not, they want to get it to zero. This group, instead of calling it Democrats, I would call it globalists. They want to get carbon emissions to zero by 2050. So they're trying to do what they call the Great Reset. So the World Economic Forum, no joke, literally has labeled their next meeting the Great Reset. So all these conspiracy theorists can really go wild because, well, they've literally labeled that their next big conference. And so the big idea is that the human population is growing too rapidly. They're producing too much carbon emissions, too much waste, and it's going to be unsustainable. And if we continue to double the population every several decades, well, by 2015, or rather 2050, if we kept the current trajectory, we'd be at perhaps anywhere from 14 to 28 billion human beings. Okay, and then if you did it again in another 2 to 3 decades, then you'd be at 50 billion humans. So they just don't think this is realistic. Unfortunately, perhaps the globalists are right. So their main agenda, in my humble opinion, is to slow down the growth of humans and to try to transition into a cleaner operation in terms of energy and waste. So that's their big plan, and looks like they are in complete control right now. So if you can't beat them, join them, I'm afraid, on that regard. So once again, how do you get carbon emissions down? Well, and waste and population down? you create massive inflation and you crush the small guys. You make the cost of oil skyrocket. And again, this is this is why I think oil will go much more expensive, but not because of high usage or high demand. So not on the demand side. We're going to go look at the cost of production and assume that our governments around the world are going to make it very expensive to produce oil, and also create lots of taxes, making it more expensive to consume oil. So all in all, we might make a lot more money and do a better job protecting our growth stocks against inflation by making a bet on the price of oil rising. Now that we see California and New York reopening, it does seem that we're going to be pushing sooner than later. Jerry, go ahead. I see your microphone's unmuted, sir. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute George as well, in case Jerry doesn't have his audio working. And Jerry, you can also post. I'm not hearing your audio. Oh, there you go. Or is that George?
I think, hi, can you hear me, Jason?
Hey, George, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing great.
That's good. Yeah, I was going to ask you a question regarding fracking. Is that I know it's controversial. Some people say it's, when they use it, do they replenish the old oil wells, I heard, and use water or something to replenish it? Therefore, that's question number one. I don't know if they use water. Anyways, the more important question is, it's controversial, I heard, where the, emits pollution or something, or it's bad for our health or something.
I think it's releasing natural gas while they're fracking. Is one thing, and then you get oil spills, which are getting into water reservoirs, killing wildlife. Yeah, so that's some of the negative sides of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay. Yeah, what's your email address in case I have to do I think I'm using my account as an ATM machine at the moment right now.
Cool.
Which I'm grateful,
Yeah, oh, that's good news that we're making money, right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
posted in the chat box, but any email that goes to you, if you respond to that, it goes right to me.
Oh, okay, in the chat box, right on. Cool. Yeah, because I think I sold the ERX, but I didn't hop on the GBTC right now because I'm pulling out some money first, and then after that, I guess I'll have to ask you, based on my other position.
Wait, you sold AGQ, right? Not ERX?
AGQ, pardon me, sorry, AGQ, I meant this.
Okay, good.
Sorry. So I'm pulling out money first, and then once I pull that out, then I'm gonna, I'm fully invested in the other position, so then I'm gonna have to reallocate everything according to your plan. So I'll probably send you an email, and you can, if you'd be so kind to send me a screenshot.
Excellent. Yeah, I love it. I've been actually getting 20 to 30 tickets a day, so wonderful.
Awesome.
I'm ready to screenshot my little heart out for you guys. So.
All right. Thanks, Jace. I'm on the cell phone this time because my desktop's not working. So.
Oh no.
I'll send a techie to I try to go on, what do you call it, on YouTube or whatever. I couldn't figure it out. So I'll just send a techie to come over and get it done. Yeah. But if you can be so kind to unmute me or whatever you got to do on the cell, that'd be great. I appreciate it. And thanks. Keep up the good work. It's a pleasure working with you guys. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Hey, I'm the luckiest duck there is, so thank you. Very good.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Jason. Have a great day, my friend.
Cheers. Happy Monday.
Thanks, you too.
Okay, I got Julia next. Go ahead, Julia Malona. I've unmuted you. If you have questions, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Jason.
Good afternoon. Good to hear your voice.
Yes. I'm just wondering, what happened to TQQQ? Because it was last Thursday, last week was about it's about 200, and now last Friday was about 100. What happened to that?
Yeah, so they did what's called a stock split. So they took all the, imagine there's 100 shares representing all the money that fund had in total. And let's just say, for example, there's 100 shares and it was worth $1 million.
Yeah.
They decided we're going to go ahead and turn everybody's share into 2 shares. So now there's 200 shares, but there's still only $1 million representing all those shares. So they've essentially just cut the price in half and given every investor twice as many shares. So it's really silly, except for marketing and hype. They believe that there's more investors who want to buy it when it looks cheaper, but the reality is it's no change in our value. So we got twice as many shares now, but they're worth half as much per share. So really silly, isn't it, that they would want to do that?
So meaning our number of stocks will be doubled?
That's right. If you owned it before the split, so if you owned one share when it was at 200, the day they did the split, you woke up and you had 2 shares that were worth 100 each. So you went from having 1 share worth 200 bucks, and then the next day when the split occurred, you ended up getting 2 shares, but they're only worth $100 each.
And that didn't happen to my account because I was down 20,000.
What brokerage are you in?
Sink or swim. Think or swim.
Okay, well, I'm quite confident that you aren't down 20,000, that you did get that. So why don't you email me the date you bought the triple Q, what price, and how many shares, and then email me what it's worth now. But yeah, absolutely, they doubled your shares.
Okay, can I have your email is support@portfoliobuilder.com?
.io.
.io. Okay. .io. Yeah, okay. I will email you and please check because I'm just wondering I cannot do anything right now because we have to sell AGQ and buy Gbtc, but I cannot move right now because of my account.
Yeah, so email me that, and then I would pick up the phone and call TD Ameritrade and ask them to confirm that you got double the shares after the split. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I would call Thinkorswim and confirm that. But
Thank you.
you're very welcome. Great question. Good question.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Philip has a question. Hey, Jason, so regarding ERX and possibly substituting it, does this mean ERX falls into exploration category and will suffer due to Democrats' policies going forward? So I'm asking the billionaire buddy who's long oil, and he says, we're waiting to see right now, but we're just trying to figure out where to put cash. They have offloaded a lot of their position, and I was asking him who would be at risk. He says, I think going long oil is a good, easy call, but that he might look at investing in Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. And he says that basically half the companies in each of the 2 ETFs for long oil seem to be heavily at risk to Biden's policies. So yeah, it's looking like we'll most likely exit ERX and Gush and replace it with UCO, but I haven't made that call yet. But yeah, that seems to be the case, is that a great majority of the oil companies are going to be negatively affected in terms of their profitability because of Biden's policies. Very good question. And yeah, I was wondering if Chevron and ExxonMobil, which is the main ones in ERX, would be somewhat insulated from that with more offshore drilling, but it does appear that they are going to be potentially damaged by these policies as well. So getting a little more clarity from these guys. Okay, let's see what other questions we got. Jerry, for some reason your audio is not picking up, bud, so feel free to post a chat. Okay, Orlando, go ahead. I've unmuted you. And
hey,
remember,
how you doing, Jason?
Good, and I can hear you, so you're good.
Yeah, it was my Bluetooth that was running out of power. That's why, as I come up, we had such a bad connection. Hey, listen, I did liquidate all my AGQ, And I went ahead and allocated the new breakdown about the 11, the 8, the 2, and the 12 shares accordingly. Now, remember, I had said about getting a screenshot. I never did get that across from last week, and
Okay.
I
You wanted
need to.
a 3,000 in
Uh,
both?
no, actually, it was we had talked. You said we were going to go with 4 and 2, 4 in the alpha and 2
Okay.
in the boot camp. But yet, I went ahead when I liquidated my AGQ. I went ahead and jumped across. Went ahead and did this the new the 1 unit according to this new setup, and so I always like to have a little bit of a buffer. So let's go with 5 instead of the 6. That way I can have a little extra just in case something comes up. I can go ahead and jump on it. So
Okay,
can we
so
figure out that?
what would you like for your 2 screenshots?
3 and 2. How's that?
Okay, cool.
Well, like the other family members of this immense family that we've got now, I'm very grateful for your expertise. Yeah, you are a class act. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. I am very lucky to have this opportunity to serve you guys. So the pleasure is all mine.
Well, back at you. I can't wait to become the lifetime member. Really.
Nice. Now do me a favor, Orlando. Make sure you got that email I just sent you right now, okay?
Okay, let me see. 2000 absolute boot camp.
And then
So
let's see. I do see a question from Michael. Any change in the boot camp? Not yet. I'm still analyzing the impact of these. This is
Yeah.
exactly what they were warning us too, or my oil buddies were warning me before he was elected. But we watched Gush melt up and double for our investors. So I've been skeptical to exit it just because of the returns we're making on that. So I'm going to do more due diligence before I pull the trigger.
Sounds good, man.
Okay, good. Did you get the screenshots though, Orlando? It should say trade.
I've only got the absolute alpha boot camp right now. Gosh, yeah, I've got this one for the boot camp, but I can't see the other one for the alpha. But of course, I got the alpha anyway. I can go ahead and oh, there you go. I got it.
You got the trade email with the 2 screenshots?
I thought I did. No, my fault. But I do have the breakdown for the new breakdown for the safe alpha anyway, so I can multiply it out myself. It's no big deal.
Okay, well, I wonder why not getting the emails, but okay, great. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and continue with the presentation. And
Thank you, sir.
yep, very good. Okay, Philip, go ahead. I've unmuted you, sir.
Hi, Jason. Greetings from Lost Wages, Nevada. Landed here this morning very early, so I'm a little tired. I hope I can make sense of this question I'm about to ask you. I have a managed brokerage account that I established back in February of last year, and I am waiting to move it over to your program. My concern is selling that portfolio and paying the capital gains. If I wait until I believe the end of March, I'll move into the long-term capital gains, and I'm wondering if that's a mistake to wait. Do you have any recommendation there?
Yeah, I in general, I would say it's probably better to wait so you get the lower tax rate. But again, then you're asking me to predict what's going to happen in a a 30-day period. So
Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Good enough.
But if we can cheat some taxes, I'm always a fan of that.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do any jail time just yet. No.
Legally cheat any taxes. Let me rephrase that.
I understand. Just looking for some humor. Okay. Right. I probably just wait it out since I'm so close to March.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Jason.
No, my pleasure. Okay, Victor says to send a copy of Orlando to him. Okay, I'm going to shoot that over, and then Victor can pass it along too. Doing that right now. Victor, good idea. This screen's a little tiny on me. Okay, great. And Jerry, yeah, I don't think they're going to let you have 2 accounts, but you can create sub accounts. So I would use the chat feature for their on the phone app to get support, Jerry, and ask them to walk you through how to create sub accounts. But yeah, they're going to only allow you to have 1 account per social security number. So if you did want a second account, you're going to need to go form an LLC and then have a new EIN or something like that to be able to get multiple accounts with the same. But they do allow you to create sub accounts, I believe. So maybe you can consider doing something like that, okay? And I do like interactive brokers as well. So that's also a good option. Or Schwab is also another good one. Okay, great. Let's see. Lots of questions so far. I think we've cleared out all the questions, so I can go ahead and do a little overview. Okay, another question. Okay, Philip's asking if I've gotten out of AGQ for because inflation expect. No, I actually think well, now what we're seeing is all of a sudden magically, now that Trump's gone, it's perfectly safe to reopen the economy, it appears. So looks like my March timeline, and remember, I predicted we would top out. Okay, and again, this is not, let me get to my Twitter feed here. I was predicting we'd top out between 130 and maximum 140,000 on the hospitalizations. And we got to 130 and it's falling down now. So let's see if I can find that chart. And now we have 2 of the largest, and plus Florida. So here you go. So I predicted we would not go above 140 and thought 130 was most realistic, and that we would be falling off a cliff by the end of January, and then we should have all the health perspectives to reopen by March. And so that's looking good. So oil demand should be picking up and inflation should be picking back up. I just think you're going to make more money with the Bitcoin position than with silver because it's got so much hype around it, and we're in a bubble mania. So we do want to actually look at where the mania is focused, and it's much more obsessed with Bitcoin than it is gold and silver. Now in the Pro, I have not made that change. With Pro, I'm assuming that you're going to have a nice heavy duty boot camp position. So we're remaining old school with Pro being long silver. I still think in the course of time, silver is going to go above 90. So not that AGQ is a bad investment, but this change today is going to give us a little bit more of our deflation volatility hedge, and got us into the more exciting Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's pretty cool. They may have quite and we do have the bankers, not so fond of it. But right now it's still pretty small in the grand scheme of things for them to get to the point where they're going to be aggressively going after that. So that was the only reasoning behind that trade, is I think we're going to get a better return, at least in the short term. Well, perhaps in the long term as well. Okay, Philip says his girlfriend, who's a nurse in Illinois, says their COVID hospital are down. Diane, did I get your question earlier? Let me look, Diane. Now they are worried that there's a new. Yeah, Diane. So it doesn't matter if when you bought an asset. Absolutely. If I sell it, you sell it. If I buy something, you buy it. The whole way this works is we all have the same ratio of shares, and then this ensures that we get the same profit over the same period of time. So we were in silver for quite some time, and now we're deciding it's a better opportunity with Gbtc. So At all times, you definitely want to make sure you have the exact same ratio of shares so that you get the same return that we all do over time. And just a quick look, we're sitting on a 10.7% return in January and a 7% return in December. So we're up 18% in the last 2 months. So we're doing really good. Okay, let's see. Witt's got a question. Off topic of Safe Alpha, I own EPD, oil gas pipeline with great dividend, but under pressure now, good time to get out. Maybe, Witt. Yeah, so I'm getting more insight. I'm getting more insight from my buddies, but it doesn't. Here's what it looks like they're going to do. They're doing the 60-day moratorium. So anything they already have existing is good. They're not taking away any fracking that you may already have in operation. What they are doing is putting a hold on any new projects for 60 days. And the Yates family is who I get advice from, believes this is to put pressure on the various states to put in place the Biden administration's team, who will then be much more restrictive about giving new grants to create new production. So this is more of a long-term effect on these oil and gas companies. So that's why I haven't rushed to sell them right now, because we're seeing everything reopen. They already have 2 years of projects that are intact. So I don't think it's going to be so that's the best insight I give you on that so far. And I guess I missed that a long time ago earlier, so sorry I missed that question. Okay, good, Whit. Okay, great, guys. So a lot of good questions. The webinars have been easy lately because we just do lots of really good Q&A. I'm gonna go ahead and do a 10,000-foot overview here. Okay, so today we have slightly increased our hedge. Now we have 120 bucks. Previously, it was closer to 100. We added 2 shares today. Okay, so a little extra downside protection. Big headline is that Schumer and Pelosi are anticipating the next round of stimulus to happen in a month to 2 months. So I think that's going to be the next major catalyst to take the offensive portion of our portfolio significantly higher. Okay, at that point, after we do catch that next big leap higher, I do anticipate us wanting to shave down some of the growth position and increase UVXY, because at some point I do anticipate a significant profit-taking inflationary reaction in the market in 2021. It could be 6 months out, perhaps. So my best guess for you guys is that we could see some volatility in the next 2 months, waiting for the next round of stimulus. That's on the bad side. We got to wait 2 months to get some more free money out there. What else? We're seeing California, New York reopening. We're seeing the cases fall off a cliff as anticipated. So that's kind of what we're seeing in the short term. So those inflationary data points, which would be potentially a headwind against tech, could be coming in as soon as March, which is what I was hoping would be the case, and that we're not going to have governors keep us locked down for some sort of conspiracy. So fingers crossed that we reopen America here and continue the vaccination program. On a side note, though, we got the CDC saying we're not going to have herd immunity from vaccinations until we vaccinate 70 to 80% of the population. Well, first of all, I don't think 70 to 80% of the population wants to take it. And at the current trajectory, that would take 2 years to accomplish. So keeping a close eye on that from that respect. Also, we have this new variant that's spreading, which from South Africa and from the UK, 2 different versions, one of which has now caused Moderna to create a new vaccine that's supposed to come out. I can't remember exactly when, but it's going to protect against both spike proteins. So imagine that all the people who've had the vaccine so far now have to go get a new one because the previous one is not effective against the new South African strain. So again, I'm keeping a close eye. As long as the hospitalizations are falling off a cliff, I don't care what mutations are spreading. And then again, really, we've always believed that the best course for this was no action, and to look at Florida, Sweden, and Belarus as the best example, that you get the same overall data points without crushing your economy with no action. All these lockdowns have really proven to have no value to the health perspective. So from a health perspective, I fully believe we can reopen with no problems. But again, predicting what the health situation is compared to what governors are doing has not always correlated. No, I'm not changing screens. We're just on the ratio screen right now, Julio. Okay, Hector has a question. Go ahead, Hector. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. So Hector, if you unmute your mic, you can go ahead and ask any questions.
Hello, Jason. Can you
Hey,
hear me
Hector.
okay?
Yes, sir.
Hi. I wasn't sure if I read something wrong or if I've looked at something incorrectly from this morning, because it said for existing members on the email that you sent out, it had 2 new shares of UVX, and then below that it said 8 share. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. It says 11 shares of UVX. Why? And I wasn't sure how to interpret that.
What's your account size, Hector? I'll take a screenshot and send it to you, and you can balance up. Okay.
Okay. Why don't I'll email that to you then later.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'll get you a screenshot right back, and then we'll get you taken care of. Excellent.
Okay. Let me ask you this: on ERX, I bought it today, earlier, and I was wondering if this is the case. Are you staying in ERX for now? Are we keeping this in the portfolio?
Yeah, if it's on the screen, it's in the portfolio currently. That's correct.
Okay. Okay, because the only reason I asked that is because I purchased it today, and I think I had heard you earlier say that you were debating whether to keep it on the portfolio. So I was just
Correct.
wondering.
Yeah, so that's accurate observation. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Jason. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, very good. So guys, just remember, I'm always going to give you lots of forward guidance. So if there's a trade coming, it's not going to be necessarily as much as possible. It won't be a big surprise. So ERX is something I'm contemplating changing based on news from this weekend. At this point, we've not made a change, and I'm not worried about it falling off a cliff right now. What I'm wondering is if we could potentially get a better return being long oil, or if we're better off sticking to the current position. So I'm at this point just giving you a forward guidance alert and no change. But yeah, I would say it's important to have that ERX right now, because that's our inflationary hedge, which is again something that growth stocks and your UVXY and your triple Q are not going to like real demand-based inflation in the economy. And so ERX and Gush will do very well in normal circumstances, unless they're attacked by the government, which they may be. That they would do very well with true demand inflation in the economy. So yes, I would definitely have ERX until we make that trade. The trade could be 2 months out. It could not happen at all. But yeah, this is going to really affect their long-term plans. Yes, so UCO is long oil, the price of oil. And that's what we have in the pro portfolio instead of the oil and gas companies. Okay, great. So wonderful. So yeah, let me just quickly go through the headlines that are important. We're looking at the stimulus from Schumer. He's anticipating in 1 to 2 months. So I think that'll give us the next big boost. We're gonna trade flat until then, maybe not. I'm not too sure. We're seeing the TLT get a nice bump and the dollar strengthen a little bit. So I do think that's actually very bullish for our portfolio. So that's good. If TLT were selling off, I'd be much more concerned. This is probably the most important chart, as always, looking at that 10-year. If the 10-year were to go above this high of 1.1, I would be very concerned with our current short-term risks, but it's pulling back down, so that's good. That means there's not a lot of competition for our inflationary investments. So I like to see that for not having to do a dramatic change. On the virus front, we are seeing that the hospitalizations are falling off a cliff as anticipated. Then we're seeing different states begin to make pro-business policy changes. So that's good for our current portfolio. So we might have a amazing 6-month return coming up with very few changes. That's really my prognosis right now. And I do think that big catalyst will be that next big stimulus position coming out. So that's the big picture. But on the COVID side, they're now hyping up the UK variation and the South Africa variation. Moderna has already made a new vaccine that covers both spike proteins. And so, and the US manufacturing and PMIs are killing it compared to the rest of the world. So we're continuing to outperform. So for Safe Alpha, you're US centric in your investment strategy. And perhaps you'll outperform the majority of our other portfolios in the time being until Europe does reopen. Europe's been locked down very aggressively. So that's why they're slacking behind us right now. Okay, very good, guys. So if you have any other questions, please email it to me. I'm going to go ahead and get off so I can prepare for the pro. But remember, any email I send out to you, you'd respond to that. It goes right to me, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So specifically, if you want any screenshots taken. And remember, Jeff Olson is one of our members who has all the products. He's joined the team. He'll be reaching out to people to see if they want to get into any of the other services or save money on a lifetime membership. So we'll be getting him in the webinar so he can say hi next time. And I want to say we really appreciate everybody. And okay, Ron's got a question. Go ahead, Ron.
Yes, Jason, when we look from the ERX, when we look the history, the ERX at the January 2020, its price is $183. And then on the March on the 2020, it's went down to $5 something. So this one, it's any split ratio or it's priced down itself?
You're asking about ERX? Let me pull up that chart. Yeah, so it went to, it had a massive crash when oil went negative from the, so in March, not Brent oil, but WTI oil went negative in the United States, which was absolutely absurd. And so, yeah, no, that's not with splits or anything. That's the real price action. So we went long ERX right here when we knew the vaccines were coming out. And so it's appreciated significantly. And it's having a little pullback right here. So you can see that massive catch-up trade that we caught. And I'm not ready to exit it yet, but I am considering whether or not I would rather be long oil. Instead, the price of oil instead of the companies that benefit from producing oil, for all the reasons we just explained. So
okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And this is 2 times leveraged ERX compared to XLE, so it's going to show a lot more volatility on ERX. But yeah, it got crushed in March, as you're pointing out right here, and that's because oil went negative for about 48 hours. It was negative, maybe a little bit less, and we went long that. With spot oil, and then we went again long oil producers when we got the vaccine headlines. Okay, wonderful, guys. Well, please make sure to join us back Wednesday. We're going to start 15 minutes earlier, so we have a little extra time. And if you have any other questions, just email me, and I'll get back to you immediately. Really appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you back on Wednesday. So thank you so much.